Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Wednesday, August the 18th, and welcome to our video commentary. I have a post over at the American Thinker this morning, Wednesday morning, talking about 2020 and the U.S. news media, where I say that I believe the news media did the country a terrible disservice by not covering the Biden campaign the way they would have covered anybody else. In other words, in 2020, the media was so obsessed with Trump. They couldn't get enough of Trump. Trump was like their meal ticket. They couldn't get enough of him. That they basically forgot that there was another guy running. And that allowed Joe Biden to sit in the basement of his house, not campaign in any way. Now, they said that it was because of the virus. And to some extent, I understand that. But he could have done interviews on video. He could have done interviews with, people 6 feet distance from him. He could have done a lot of stuff and stayed within the reality of the virus. But the media, for whatever reason, did not push Biden to answer any questions. For example, when he talked about the environment, did they ever ask him about the impact that this was going to have on gasoline if you cancel the pipeline? No, they didn't ask him about that. When he spoke about immigration and he said they were going to be more humanitarian, did anybody ask him what that meant? Because I think we've learned what being more humanitarian means. 1 million people walk into your country in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, does that make any sense? And then, of course, now we have the situation with Afghanistan, which is without question, I think, the worst of all three, at least in the short term. Because what you now have in Afghanistan is Americans are actually in harm's way because of a very bad decision by this president. And now you have the president who will not answer questions from the media, the president who is basically hiding from the media. And I think a lot of reporters are starting to figure it out. And hopefully they go after him and try to get some questions answered. But the damage has been done. We elected a man who may not be fit, physically fit, that is, to be president. All you have to do is watch him. And, we have some very tough things that the president has to do. But we may not have a man in the White House right now who's fit to be president. And I think a lot of media people are beginning to realize that, you know what, we blew it in 2020. We should have been tougher on Biden. We should have at least asked him some questions, and they didn't. And he was allowed to get away with it. So it's going to be very unpleasant, I think, for the rest of this year. The Biden presidency, I think, is at a very serious point right now. The polls are dropping, and that was before Afghanistan. I think a lot of those polls have to do with the price of gasoline and the border. So when you put Afghanistan in that mix, I think you will see him around 40% very soon. And that's not good territory if you're a Democrat seeking re-election in 2022. The media, they need to answer a few questions about why they permitted a candidate to run for office in 2020 without having to answer any questions. Thank you for watching. And if today's your birthday, happy birthday. Bye-bye, everybody.